Hello, this is Alex Boyle from Boyle Green Consultancy. Today what I want to talk to you about is the perils of climate change and the effects on the Earth and the populace of the Earth. The UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says that the impact of climate change is increased exposure to variations in temperature, rainfall, and the frequency and severity of weather-related events like storms and floods. Other effects will be rising sea levels and more danger of big bushfires, pest infestations, and infectious diseases. All a result of a 0.6 degree average increase in global temperatures. This would all be okay if human beings had the capacity to adapt to changing conditions. Although improved technology makes it possible to predict storms and floods more accurately, in many cases there is very little people can do to stop them or get out of the way of them. And they can only wait for the disaster to strike and then react to the result. If the Earth continues to get warmer, we may see more of big forest fires that are close to urban areas, due to the extreme heat of environmental change, infectious disease epidemics that are created in tropical humid areas, a lot of drought in dry regions, coastal erosion and building collapses due to increased and more intense rainfall, and flash floods due to monsoons and freak storms. The incidence and power of weather-related catastrophes is increasing. Scientists are agreeing that the increase is directly related to rising ocean temperatures. Recent hurricanes in the US, such as the ones that hit New York Orleans in 2005 and the floods in Southeast Asia and Europe, are the kinds of natural catastrophes many scientists predict that will be a lot more common in the future. One of the effects of increased global temperatures is to make arid areas even drier and droughts last much more longer. This increases pressure on urban and rural water supplies, and this is made worse by the huge amounts of water wasted in homes and at work, in the factories, on farms and leisure facilities like golf courses. The traditional method of damming natural waterways, creating new reservoirs and concreting streams and rivers is just not effective anymore in the driest parts of the Earth. Water resources are drying up, so there is need to think of other ways to supply people with the water they need. And we're seeing a lot of warning signs in a lot of different nations. Africa is well known for having low food security, a large amount of starvation there, and in a lot of the countries across the continent, drought conditions will not improve the situation, and many inland lakes and rivers that provide a lot of fish will be dried up. In Asia, large proportions of low-lying land, such as in Bangladesh and India, being more susceptible to flooding and sea levels rising. The increased intensity of rainfall and the lowering of the water table due to over-irrigation. It's now commonplace in Bangladesh to have major floods every year that force millions of people out of their homes, and this keeps on increasing. Excuse me. In Australia and the Pacific, nearly every year there are serious bushfire threats around several of the major cities and towns due to the drop in rainfall. Rising sea levels are jeopardizing the future of many Pacific islands, with fears that several more islands will join the queue of those that have already drowned, such as Abenue Islands and Kiribati, Tuvalu and the Marshall Islands. In Europe, annual floods are now the norm in many parts of Europe due to rapid snow melting in alpine regions when the warmer temperatures arise. Some floods have also been caused by freak rainfall, such as ones in Prague in 2002, and to a lesser extent a lot more flooding in the United Kingdom. Now, if we don't do something about climate change, it has a worldwide effect, and this increasingly grows more dire each as the temperature increases and increases. So we must do something to stop environmental temperature change. And this has been Alex Boyle from the Boyle Green Consultancy Company, and thank you very much for listening.